welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a coffee soap, and this is a simple recipe that I got actually from Soap Queen from Brambleberry. And in this container I have olive oil, coconut oil, palm oil, coffee butter, coffee oil, and I'm going to be adding to that a coffee lye solution, which, just a warning in the beginning, this does not smell very great, but the finished product actually is supposed to smell really good. So apparently all coffee lye solutions don't smell very wonderful in the beginning. So we're going to go ahead and get this mixed up. I've got everything at about 90 degrees, and they're within 10 degrees of one another. We're going to be putting these in a 10-inch Brambleberry silicone mold, and I'll probably end up cutting the bars a fairly decent size. So we're going to go ahead and burp the stick blender here to get any little air bubbles out, and then we're going to slowly pour our coffee lye solution down the stick blender. This is just the way everyone does it. Apparently it keeps the possibility of air bubbles down and makes for a smoother finish. And then we're going to blend this up on medium. We've got this at about a medium trace. It's not super thick. It's actually closer to thin trace, actually. And this is the point where we're going to put in some actual coffee grounds. So my husband has been getting these for me for the last week or so, and we're going to add those into the coffee here so that we can get some authenticity. After all, it is a coffee soap. So I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons, and then we're just going to sort of mix those down. The fragrance oil I'm going to be using in this is Espresso by Brambleberry, and it already darkens to a dark color. It discolors the soap, so this will be just fine for the coffee soap because it'll be the same brown that you would normally get from anything coffee flavored or scented. So I'm just gonna do this around a little bit, get all those incorporated, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop in the fragrance oil, and we're gonna get this mixed up. And like I said, if you do this at home, it's not gonna smell very great. It's gonna have almost the equivalent of like if you really burned some coffee, but that smell goes away in the final bars, and it will end up smelling like something out of a really nice coffee house. So I'm going to blend this up a little more with the stick blender. Alright, this is a pretty good consistency here, so I'm going to wipe down my stick blender to get all of the little coffee beans or coffee grounds off of there, because we want all those to go into the actual final batch. And I'm just going to pop this off and set it to the side. I'm going to bring my mold over here. Got a little coffee ground down inside there. I'm just going to pour this in and let it set up shop. Now it will thicken as it cools, so it will form a very nice dark brown color. Right now it almost looks like coffee that you've put creamer in, but the fragrance oil discolors the coffee bean oil, will also make it get a dark brown color, so this will look more like regular old brewed coffee by the time we are done. So we're gonna scrape all this out. I like to get everybody into the mold. And then we'll let this sit for a little while, sort of set up. And then we'll come back and we're gonna give a little bit of a pattern to the top and sprinkle with some coffee grounds. Alright guys, and we are back. And it seems like it's setting up really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little measuring spoon and I'm just going to kind of texture the top a little. Just give it a little bit of something there. Gonna kind of pull from the sides a little bit. And as this thickens a little more, this will actually work a little better. But I didn't want to get too intense with it because this was actually a coffee request, coffee soap request from my husband. He was really interested in coffee soap when I first brought it up. He's apparently got some work associates that are also a little bit of coffee nuts themselves, so he thinks this will be a big hit, so I told him I would definitely get this going. And I have to say, even as it's just sitting here, not even in the curing process yet, it smells really nice. So I'm thinking this is going to be a very big hit with everyone. I'm not sure how I feel about the texturing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little pipette. I'm just going to do a little simple swirl in the middle. And this hasn't totally set up to the point yet where it really holds a design. I think that's why the spoon wasn't really working that well for me. But we're just going to go over this a few times with the little pipette. Just get a little texture. I don't want anything all that crazy because it is a coffee soap and it's not something that you automatically expect to be overly crazy. So I'm just going to do some sprinkles of some coffee down the middle there. And like I said, the smell is really good even when it's not in the cured stage yet. So all that weird bitterness in the beginning totally went away after everything got mixed in and the fragrance oil got added. It's probably just basically a reaction that happens from the lye water. So I wouldn't think that much about it. I think you would be really happy with the finished product. And that's about all that we're going to do because this is a very simple, just straightforward soap. And we're going to spritz it down with some 91 rubbing alcohol because I don't want to get soda ash, and that's something that happens sometimes. We're going to clean up a little bit here. And then we're going to let this sit. Probably, I usually let my bar soaps go about 18 to 24 hours before I pull them from the mold. So we're probably going to let this one sit about that same time. I will check it tomorrow afternoon and see how it's doing. If I think that it's ready to be pulled from the mold, then I will come back and I will do a cutting and show you guys how it looks on the inside. So I'll see you hopefully tomorrow night.